I wanted to ask you a question today. How late is the hour we're living in? How late do you think the hour is that we're living in? Do you ever stop and think about it each day? Or are we caught up in our daily lives so much with working, going to school, dealing with our children, maintaining our marriages, whatever it is we do that keeps us busy every day? Are we paying more attention to those things than we are the signs of the times and the things the Lord told us to pay attention to? How late is the hour really? I believe that we are at the beginning of sorrows. I believe that we are at that stage that the Lord told his disciples on the Mount of Olives. When you begin to see these things happen, look up, for your redemption draws nigh. I think about the parable of the fig tree, which represents Israel. And he said, when you see the fig tree bud, know that summer is at the door, that it's at the door. So many things have taken place that the Lord has impressed upon me. We are past late, that this hour is nearly over and the day is at hand. People have been saying that for years. I know this, and unbelievers will accuse believers of like the boy who cried wolf. Oh man, people have been saying this for centuries. But do you know that that's actually prophecy being fulfilled? Because Paul reminded us that people would say, scoffers would come in the last days saying, oh, everyone says that he's coming back, and everything goes on as it has since the fathers fell asleep. Where is the promise of his coming? People would doubt that because right now their lives seem to be going on as normal. But I believe we are that generation to see the Lord return. I truly do. And if we are that generation, think about it. How much time is there left in this generation? I believe that there's coming a day very soon where you will no longer be able to go to the grocery store as normal. I believe I've taken it for granted for years, where I get in my car, I go to the store, I buy my food, come home and put it away in my pantry. Now I come home from the store, and as I'm talking with the Lord, I say to him, Lord, how much longer do I have to do these things? How much longer do I have the freedom to just get in my car, go to the store, buy my food, and come home and put it away? I feel the Lord has been dealing with me and preparing me to realize that life as I know it, the everyday comforts of home, having a house with heat, being able to just go to the grocery store and put food in my pantry, have a warm bed to sleep in at night, have all the everyday comforts of home that I'm used to in daily living are not going to be there eventually. Even having this opportunity to come on the internet and share the gospel with people, or warn people, or admonish people, or even encourage people in the Lord, I believe this window is coming to an end. The technology exists today that did not exist maybe 25, 30 years ago to implant an RFID microchip in people. I look at the fact that Israel was a nation in 1948. I look at the fact that the technology is on the scene to implant every person in this new global economic system that's coming, where you will not be able to go to the store and buy food. You will not be able to hold a job or pay your bills. I believe we are that generation to see those things happen. Jerry White, who works for the State Department, recently made a statement, or actually several statements, and I have one of his videos on my channel if you would like to look it up, or you can look it up yourself. Jerry White has been to several conferences stating that he is looking for a global covenant of peace. He also calls it a global peace initiative. And in some of his statements, and even in news articles online, Jerry White cites the Pope of Rome and the Vatican being a third neutral party to implement this. Now, is this the global covenant with many that Daniel wrote about? I don't know yet. I don't want to put absolutes on things, but it definitely caught my attention. So I'm advising you to pay attention to that. Pay attention to what Jerry White has been saying in the news about a global covenant for peace, a global covenant initiative, where he wants the Pope/Vatican to be a third neutral party to implement this. That catches my attention. That's all I'm saying is be on the watch. But you are hearing topics come up today being spoken of that weren't even being spoken of 20 years ago. The New World Order is talked about daily. They're not hiding it anymore. The RFID microchip is being promoted in IBM commercials, and you can look up these commercials online, making it appealing to the public. Some television shows like Law and Order and things like that are promoting being microchipped and having RFID chips, and they're promoting it and making it look wonderful to people. 20, 30, 40 years ago, people probably wondered, how are we going to mark each person for them to buy and sell. Well, that technology wasn't even being discussed 20 or 30 years ago. Look how rapidly we are approaching this time. So you take into consideration Israel, the fig tree budded in 1948, okay? And the Lord said, when you see that happen, know that his coming is at the door. This generation will not pass till all these things be fulfilled. When you see these things happening, look up, because your redemption draws nigh. The technology to be implanted with an RFID microchip exists today. It's ready to be set in place, okay? This global covenant of peace that Jerry White is speaking of, and how he is directly wanting to involve the Pope of Rome to be the neutral party to sign that into law. There are so many other things that I could go into, but there is coming a time very soon, I believe, and I'm saying this with conviction, maybe within the next 2 or 3 years or 5 years, I don't know, but it is short time in coming, that you will not have the comforts of home that you're used to. You will not be going to the grocery store and like you do now and going and buying food, putting gas in your car, making your bill payments, and holding a job. There's going to come a division, a sword that God is bringing in this generation to either take a stand with the Lord and deny yourself the comforts of home, say, well, then I just don't buy groceries then, or I don't have a job then. The Lord will provide for me in his way. He'll take care of me day by day and show me what to do, but I refuse to submit to this system. Or you'll be one of those who will be under the pressure of saying, well, I can't live without heat. I can't live without groceries in my pantry. I can't do without my car, my cell phone, my computer, and all the comforts of home that I'm used to, and you'll go ahead and you'll take this mark. There's coming a deciding hour where the sword of division will come, and the Lord will divide those who are his and those who are not, and I believe that will be revealed very soon, even in this generation, before the Lord comes back. So how late is the hour? I believe we're past late, folks. We are. I feel so heavy to come out and tell you this, that if you are not watching the signs of the times, the Lord is not pleased with this. He rebuked people when he walked the earth, telling them you can discern the clouds in the sky, you can discern the weather, but you can't discern the times. We need to ask the Holy Spirit to wake us up, that even though it's important to be involved and do a good job on the job, or to get good grades at school, or to make sure your marriage is honoring the Lord. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but if even those good things take your mind off of watching for the Lord and watching for the signs of the times like he commanded you to, even those good things can be a distraction. It can be a distraction. Jesus said, if you will not watch, he says this in Revelation, if you will not watch, I will come on you like a thief. Blessed are those servants whom when the master comes, he finds them watching. Blessed are those servants whom when the master comes, he finds them watching. He promises that if you won't watch for him, if you're not paying attention to the signs of the times, his coming will come on you like a thief. I'm here to alert you when that the hour's late, and I believe we're that generation. So how late is the hour? I believe we're on borrowed time. I really do. I believe we are at the last seconds of the last hour. I believe that everything that we know as far as going to the grocery store and just being able to live a normal everyday life, all the comforts of home that we're used to, we are about ready to make a decision whether to hold on to those things or reject them and say, no, I refuse to take those things so I can be faithful to the Lord. So are we in the last hour? Absolutely. I believe we're in the last minutes of the last hour. And if you're not watching because you're so caught up in your job and everything else, or your marriage, your children, your home, I'm not saying that those aren't important, but even those things cannot take your mind off of your fellowship with the Lord and watching as he commanded you to watch. He said, what I say to you, I say to all, watch. And I'm going to relate this again to a bride in love with her husband. What bride who's in love with her husband doesn't miss him when he's gone? You know, to me, that should be the hallmark of someone who's in love with Christ. They will miss him every day, and every day that he is gone seems like it's an eternity because they miss him. But I wanted to lay on your heart, you need to watch. You need to pay attention. The Lord is revealing everything is coming together as it was written in Daniel and Revelation. It's all happening. It's all happening right before our eyes in this generation. So how late is the hour? I believe we're on borrowed time. And each time you go to the grocery store, or you put gas in your car, or you go buy and sell, or do whatever it is you're doing right now in daily life, I fully believe that that's quickly going to come to an end in this generation, and very soon. So when people ask me how late is the hour, I say it's past late, that we're at the last seconds of the last hour. And we need to keep focused on the Lord's return. We need to keep focused on asking Him to give us the strength to stand in this hour, because life as you know it, right now, every day that you have it, is not going to last much longer. And this is just my opinion, but this is what I feel the Lord is telling me. You need to be watching.